I'm Bay McFarlane, and I'm asking for your support and help. For over 10 years, I've been working to uphold marriage in light of no-fault divorce with our nonprofit organization, Mary's Advocates. And when I'm done talking right now, I'm going to show you a video clip of Dr. Donald Asci, professor of moral theology at the Franciscan University of Steubenville. The reason I'm showing you the clip is because he asks for what Mary's Advocates is doing, and nobody else is doing it. That is, upholding the Catholic teaching about divorce in a very strong way. We need your support so children can grow up in intact homes where both mom and dad keep the promises they made on their wedding day, even before those children were conceived. We have an opportunity now because Pope Francis's recent Synod on the Bishops has everybody talking about marriage more than they were ever talking about it before. Even the controversial sections on paragraph 83 to 85 in the closing document of the Synod emphasize the need for priests to discern situations carefully. Priests are supposed to accompany people on the way of discernment according to the teaching of the Church. Mary's Advocates has uncovered teaching of the Church that has gotten way too little attention for decades. We are convinced that if pastoral care includes the practice described in the Catechism and the Code of Canon Law, marriages that would otherwise split can be saved. We have had some breakthroughs recently. We've got an educational piece with the endorsement of the Judicial Vicar of the Archdiocese of New York talking about separation of spouses and divorce from a Catholic perspective. And that educational piece of literature was put in front of dozens of priests that participated in a retreat given by Cardinal Raymond Burke. We have a template petition that any Catholic can use to ask the bishop to stop a breakup. And in a couple of dioceses, the bishops are getting involved in intervening. I was invited to speak in Rome recently, and all the talks presented at the symposium where I talked were put in paper form and given to the delegates to Pope Francis's Synod of Bishops on the Family. The video presentation of my talk is presently being edited so we can put it on our YouTube channel. We have a separated faithful spouses group, and the book we use, The Gift of Self, includes a prayer where we can renew our vows even though we're separated and divorced, and that prayer is on the Pontifical Council of the Family's website. We have goals, and we need your help to achieve these goals, and with the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, some number of you will come forward and become regular donors. We need to effectively use social media so that spouses who don't want divorce can learn about options. We need to rebuild and update Mary's Advocates website so visitors can find the help they need quickly. For example, we've got permission from the Vatican's publishing house to translate from Latin to English some case law about separation of spouses from the Roman Rota. But if this case law is not prominently displayed on an easy-to-navigate website, it's not going to be as helpful. One of these cases shows that a spouse who abandons marriage is not due any support. We need to continue building our network of Catholic offices and retreat centers that display our educational materials, and all of this takes time and resources, which is why I am asking for you to help. Please donate by using the donate button below. Like us on Facebook. That's all I have to say for now. Now hear what Dr. Donald Asci has to say about divorce. Thank you.
I propose that we redouble our efforts to address divorce as a grave offense against the dignity of the human person by approaching the question through the spousal meaning of the body articulated in St. John Paul II's Theology of the Body. Viewing divorce from the perspective of the spousal meaning of the body makes the evil of divorce more clearly an affront to the intrinsic value of the person and shows it to be a type of consumerism in the marital sphere, which in turn likens divorce to the evil of euthanasia, insofar as divorce can become a way of ridding oneself of a person by a rationally justified affront to the dignity of that person. I also propose that we need to examine more carefully how divorce can, in many cases, be a form of despair, especially despair in the face of suffering or a despair over the possibility of reconciliation, which would set divorce against the sacramental character of marriage and the grace that God provides to those in marriage. Finally, I would propose that by failing to address the evils of divorce clearly and adamantly, Catholics may well be undercutting our attempts to defend the dignity of the human person in other situations. And we are certainly undercutting our attempts to foster Christian hope in general and in the sexual sphere specifically. In sum, then, we need to make recognizing the indissolubility of marriage and the evil of divorce a prominent feature of our Catholic faith and identity, something along the lines of the way in which we are pro-life and in the ways in which we speak out against the recognition of same-sex unions, precisely because the gospel requires us to defend the dignity of the human person and to foster hope among ourselves and the world around us.
Thank you, Dr. Asci.